Hello and welcome to today's webinar topic, 360 Sync with Autodesk RFIs. Today you're going to learn about how to simplify the RFI process when you're using Autodesk and or Procore. But first, we're going to identify the problem. And a little bit about me. Before I worked as a product manager for 360 Sync, I was a project engineer. And it was my job essentially to manage the RFIs and submittals that came across my desk for all of the subcontractors that I worked with. And so during that process, I had to do a lot of things. First thing I had to do, write and document that RFI or submittal in my project management system. Then I would have to turn around and do the exact same thing in another system, whether it was the general contractors or the projects system, or maybe I just even had to save that. I had to create a PDF of that RFI and then save it on my server or in SharePoint. Then next, what I had to do is I had to post the question to the owner or the architect. So basically, I'd already written the RFI in my system. I documented it on our server. Then I had to present the question to the owner or to the architect in their own system. And then I had to wait. And then once they answered that in 7 to 14 days, it was my job to review the response, determine if there was any questions that I need to ask or any clarifying questions that I need to ask. And then I would have to download the attachments. And then I would continue the process of documenting the response that the architect provided to the owner, architect, general contractor of the project, my own company for backup. And then I would also have to provide the response to any and all relevant subcontractors. So this was a very manual process. I had to do the same bit of work 2, 3, 4 times. It was repetitive and time consuming. And I had to provide those responses to a multitude of different users, and each RFI or each submittal required it being sent to different people. So I had to manage that whole process. It was time consuming, it was painful, the potential for error was extremely high. And so when I came here to evolve, I always thought that there had to be a better way, some better way to simplify this process. And so finally, we've built it. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how you can copy RFIs from your Autodesk project and back them up on your server. I'm also going to show you how you can take Autodesk RFIs and then copy them to Procore and into the Procore RFI tool. You could also do that and copy them to the documents tool there, but the more powerful demonstration that I'm going to show you today is copying that data from Autodesk and putting it into the Procore RFIs tool. So let's go. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a project. Okay, we will call this Autodesk RFIs to Procore RFIs and server. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take files from Autodesk and back them up on my server. I will choose my company that I want to connect to, choose the project that I want to connect to, and then I will choose where I want these to go or what I want to copy. So I'm going to choose my RFIs tool here. Now notice as well, we can copy documents. We've always been able to do that, but now we can also copy RFIs, submittals, photos, and sheets from Autodesk. I'm just going to copy RFIs today. Notice as well that we can copy RFIs based off of a status. So if you just wanted to copy only the closed RFIs, you could do that. Or if you wanted to move just open RFIs, you could do that. The whole idea behind that is maybe you want to copy open RFIs only to the owner, but then you want to download later closed RFIs from the architect. So if that's something that you want to do, that's, you can set it up like that. So there's a specific workflow that is completely automated. But I want to copy all of my RFIs in this case from my Autodesk project to my server. So I'm not going to choose any status to copy. Notice as well, I can choose to select the ball and court. So if there's only like a specific bit of RFIs that I want, like for instance, the ones that are assigned to me, then I can do that. Also notice, if I want to include the RFI response in the downloaded data, then I can choose to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Also notice, I have the option to either merge attachments, whether they're images or PDFs or Word documents. I can choose to merge those with the RFI response or the RFI cover sheet, or I can just have the attachments as their own files and not merged. I'm going to choose to merge these for this example. So we're going to copy all of our RFIs from Autodesk, and we're going to choose to save them onto our server. Now, I don't actually have a server. I'm just going to show you how easy this is to do with my Box account. Okay, so I'm going to come in here. I'm going to create a new folder, and we're going to call this RFIs from Autodesk. Okay, so I'll choose that folder, and that's where we're going to copy our RFIs from Autodesk to here. So we'll call this ACC RFIs to server. Now I'll come down here, and if I wanted to, I could hit save, but I'm going to hit save and duplicate because I want to do the same thing. I want to move the same files from Autodesk. Instead of taking the files and copying it to my server, now what I want to do is I want to copy these RFIs from the Autodesk RFI tool into the Procore RFI tool. So I'm going to choose the company that I want to connect to. I'll choose the project that I want to connect to. And then now I'm going to choose where I want these files to go. It's going to give me a little note here that we cannot copy draft or void status RFIs. That's just a limitation of the APIs. So if you want those to be copied, then you need to change the status. So I'll just hit continue here. And this time we're going to go ACC RFIs to Procore RFIs. I will hit save. So now, again, I can run this right now, or I can schedule it. I won't go over those two functionalities right now. If you've ever seen a demo from me before, then you understand how that works anyway, but I'm just going to hit play and let these run. All right, so now we're going to come over here and we're going to check and see how all that went. So first, we'll take a look at all of our RFIs going from Autodesk to our server. And notice there's a folder for each one that shows the RFI number as well as the RFI description. And then once you jump in there, there should be a single PDF that contains all the information about that. We can also see that they were all successful over here. Notice as well that we can check that out over here when we're copying RFIs from Autodesk to the Procore RFI tool. We send a JSON file that contains all the data associated with that RFI, and then if there are any attachments, we send those as well. Now let's check out how these look on our server. So again, same thing, you can see those folders. We'll drop in here. We can open up that PDF and we can review it. All right, so you can see the RFI detail here. We can review all that. And then we can also come down here and here's one of our attachments. Okay, obviously this would probably be a plan or something like that that was marked up, but you get the idea. Now let's take a look at the RFIs that were copied from Autodesk Construction Cloud's RFI tool to the Procore RFI tool. We're going to take a look at this thermostat one because that was the file that we opened. And then now we'll notice that the file was copied. So you'll recognize this same image here in a second. That was our little attachment. And then we can also come down here and review any of the data associated with that. And there you have it. Hopefully this was informative. Hopefully you guys are excited about trying this out as I am about showing it off. And if you have any questions or if you want to see a personalized demo, please reach out to us and we will jump on a call as soon as we can. So thanks for your time today and have a good rest of the day.